And the G20 drama continues, with America still on the hunt to disinvite South Africa from the G20 Summit next year in Miami and to permanently exit South Africa from the G20 altogether. There have been some heated exchanges between U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and his South African counterpart, Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Ronald Lamola. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio seemed to confirm that South Africa would not be able to take part in any G20 engagements next year. Rubio accused South Africa of executing politics of grievance and the ANC-led government of national unity sowing spite, division, and radical agendas that have nothing to do with economic growth. The U.S. Secretary said that the United States supports the people of South Africa, but not its radical ANC-led government, and will not tolerate its continued behavior. And he said in his statement, by the way, I need to quote the statement because this particular statement by Marco Rubio is going to be very central to our discussion. Now listen to what Marco Rubio said in his statement, and I quote: "When South Africa decides it has made the tough decisions needed to fix its broken system and is ready to rejoin the family of prosperous and free nations, the United States will have a seat for it at our table. Until then, America will be forging ahead with a new G20. America will be forging ahead with a new G20. A new G20, by the way, is excluding South Africa and replacing South Africa with Poland in the next G20. Yes, America has made a bold statement that it wants Poland to be part of the next G20, to be part of the G20 in general, and exclude South Africa because South Africa's ANC government is sowing seeds of destruction and political tension, and America will not tolerate this. This is not economic growth, and they do not support the ANC, but they support the people of South Africa." Which people? Which people? The ones that lied and said there's a white genocide? Those people of South Africa? You mean the 20% minority of South Africa? Because we know that America supported the apartheid regime. So I wonder which South African people they're supporting. It's clearly not the black South Africans. We've seen how they treat black Americans, how they treat their black people in their very own backyard. So it cannot be us. It certainly cannot be us. It must be the 20% minority that lied on international stages and said that they are being slaughtered for being white and their land are being taken away from them without compensation. Need I remind you that these laws put forth by the ANC that says that there will be land without compensation, it's meant for redress. They're giving us reparations. Land without compensation is redress. Land without compensation is giving an advantage to the previously disadvantaged black people. Land compensation basically is that the government needs more land for housing, and there is vast amount of land that has been unused by so-called white people. They were waiting for the day the government says, hey, can we please have land? We'll pay you this much. But now that the government is saying we are not paying a cent, they packed their panties in a bunch and ran to the Trump administration and lied and said they are being slaughtered because they are white and their lands are being taken away from them. Need I remind you as well that these particular lands they're crying, they're bitching and moaning about is our land that they forcefully removed from us back in 1955. So whose land is it anyway? So Marco Rubio, who are you supporting? And secondly, let me remind you, we are dealing with a nation that has an ego problem, a nation that wants to declare itself an emperor of all nations in the G20. Trump and Marco Rubio, who cleans toilets in the White House. And you don't believe me? White Americans say that Latinos clean their toilets. I didn't say it. Kelly Osbourne said it, and Kelly Osbourne voted for Trump. It means that white people in America view Latinos as people that clean toilets. And Marco Rubio, last time I checked, he's not an American. No, he's a Latino, which means he cleans toilets in the White House. So don't come for me. Don't shoot the messenger. Anyway, Marco Rubio and Trump think that the G20 is their personal backyard. They think this is Epstein Island. They think G20 is Epstein Island, where they come and go and choose which nations they want to rub shoulders with and which they don't want, just like how they used to choose the girls on Epstein Islands. The one with the small tatas don't get to be on the islands. The one with the big bosoms, they get to be in bed with Trump. Ding, 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 ding. So unfortunately, the G20 does not work like that. The G20 is not Epstein Island. We don't get to pick and choose, and we have a permanent seat in the G20. You cannot unseat the South Africa from the G20. We are one of the founders of G20. We've been here since the mid-90s. And we've made tremendous impact. We've made tremendous contribution to the G20. All leaders across the globe came to Johannesburg this year and they hailed South Africa. They hailed Cyril Ramaphosa for handling the event with such grace and dignity, despite efforts by the Trump administration to dwindle us and to throw us off with their lies about the white genocide that the UN already said that these are false claims. These are false claims. The whole world knows that these are false claims, except the Trump administration. The Trump administration, or Donald Trump, did not want to come to South Africa for the G20 summit because he didn't want to be physically exposed for a liar that he is. Because when you get to South Africa, there is no white genocide. In fact, white people still own 80% of these countries' wealth. And the 10% is shared amongst people of color, Indians, colors, and blacks. So, yeah, since this puta called Marco Rubio wants to open his big mouth and make it seem like he cares for the people of South Africa, despite not even knowing our day-to-day lives, never taking a word that we say, but yet the moment white South Africans lie through their teeth, they're willing to stand up and fight. Remember that Nelson Mandela went to the White House, went to America to ask for assistance in ending apartheid. And what did they do? They chased Mandela away. Mandela did not he was not even there for 24 hours and he was chased away like a dog. Remember that America funded the apartheid South African National Defense Force, the soldiers, the apartheid soldiers, to go to Angola and attack anti-apartheid activists and freedom fighters, the MK army that fought against the apartheid regime. They endorsed the apartheid government to go to Angola and kill them. Our soldiers were murdered during apartheid in Angola. So you cannot tell me that we will bow down to the United States. You cannot tell me that we will take the word of what the United States is saying about our sovereignty when they know nothing about our state, when they purposely heightened racial tensions in our country. You cannot, for the life of me, tell me that we will take the word of the United States. And I'm so glad that someone actually said it, that we are dealing with a 4-year-old. We are dealing with a president with a mentality of a 4-year-old that is throwing tantrums because the world leaders loved what South Africa had to offer, and he could not stand it. We are dealing with someone with temper tantrums. We are dealing with someone that is used to getting his own way. I mean, if you can sleep with underage teens on an island, clearly you're used to getting your way. And now that you didn't get your way, you throw a bitch fit. And someone told you that we are dealing with someone with a mentality of a 4-year-old that can't comprehend the fact that G20 does not need an emperor or a king. So whatever you want to declare yourself is not going to fly within other nations. And if anything, other nations will repel against coming to the next G20 held in Miami. Check out this clip.
Why isn't Donald Trump coming tomorrow? Because he has a 4-year-old mentality, and he's having a tantrum. He's having a tantrum. What is the tantrum? That the rest of the world says, we don't want a king. As President Lula said, we don't need an emperor. He would come here as just one of 20 leaders. or 21. He doesn't want that. He's having a tantrum. So this rebalancing is happening. He's having a particular tantrum, by the way, because the United States is in a deeply neurotic funk. You know what the cause of that neurosis is? China. A wonderful, brilliant civilization, 4,000 years old plus. It's been a unified state with brilliant statecraft for more than 2,000 years. Unlike Europe, in which every country of Europe fought every other country of Europe every year for 1,000 years. Most of the time, China was peaceful, united. It fragmented temporarily at some points, but it was mainly a unified country that actually, strangely enough, didn't beat up its neighbors also. So China, for 1,000 years, never attacked Japan, for example. Can you imagine? Britain couldn't keep its hands off any place for more than a year or two at a time.
Yep, we are dealing with a child, and it will heed us well as the people of this universe to not take Trump seriously, because if we can, we will be doing ourselves a disservice, because he will collapse our sovereignties, he will collapse our lands, he will cause chaos in our countries. So I think, respectfully so, Mr. Donald Trump, we will not take anything you say into consideration. We do not deal with tantrums. We don't deal with temper tantrums. We deal with leaders who know the hell what they're talking about and don't run their mouth and run like idiots. Honestly, you need to get a CT scan, because I think you have a brain tumor. The way you're rambling on about people's nations, damn, you need some. And you know what? The reason why they're putting Poland or replacing South Africa with Poland, it's not because the economy is thriving. Because Marco Rubio says, yeah, Poland is a beautiful economy that is thriving and is inclusive, and it will contribute very well to the G20 discussions. But we know that America is very strategic when choosing which country to counteract South Africa with. They know very well why they chose Poland, because an assassin from Poland was paid by the South African apartheid regime to come to South Africa and assassinate Chris Hani, who could have been the first black president of South Africa and truly liberate South Africa, instead of that fraud Nelson Mandela. So they chose Poland because Poland is responsible for the racial tensions that we saw erupt in South Africa in 1993 that threatened to derail the 1994 elections that took us through freedom and the rainbow nation that we see today. They chose Poland because a person there, a spy, an assassin from Poland came and took away our opportunities of having a democracy that is inclusive and that includes black people in the wealth market. So they chose Poland for that, because Poland hit us where it hurts. And that's why America is choosing Poland. And they think that they care for the people of South Africa. They care for the people of South Africa where? Where? Nonsense. This puta that cleans toilets in the White House is gonna get on my nerves. I'll tell him a new one. What do you think about this segment? Comment to us in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share the broadcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss these groundbreaking conversations right here on the African Diaspora News channel. Hello, family. I have my own YouTube channel. It's called The Native Talk. The link is in the description box below. So do subscribe to The Native Talk. We talk everything African diaspora, the political landscape that shape this continent. But more importantly, I showcase beautiful travel destinations in South Africa that you'd love to visit with me as your tour guide. Until then, see you on The Native Talk.